He is an Academy Award-winning actor who's now conquering the small screen in his new Western Yellowstone, the one and only Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner has been a Hollywood heavyweight for over 4 decades, and if there's one thing the man has proven, it's that he's got range. From unforgettable performances in The Untouchables, Field of Dreams, and Bull Durham to collecting awards like trading cards, Costner carved out his legacy early on. He's especially left a mark in the world of epic westerns. So when Yellowstone launched in 2018, casting him as John Dutton, the tough-as-nails patriarch of America's largest ranch, it felt like the perfect match. The series, packed with high-stakes land battles and even higher family drama, quickly became a hit. Fans couldn't get enough of the Duttons, especially Kelly Reilly's fiery portrayal of Beth, the fearless, unfiltered daughter who'd do anything for her father. But behind all the chaos, the drama, and gripping storylines, things weren't so rosy. In fact, Kelly Reilly herself described working on the show as something of a nightmare. That's right. What seemed like a dream gig with a Hollywood legend came with unexpected darkness. So what really happened behind the scenes? Why did Reilly use such harsh words? Stick around because we're diving deep into all the jaw-dropping truths that never made it to the screen. The man, the legend. As one of Hollywood's biggest and most enduring stars, Kevin Costner has always been the cornerstone of Yellowstone. He brought the powerful, brooding rancher John Dutton to life with a performance that felt effortlessly authentic. But before he ever stepped into the boots of the Dutton patriarch or collected Oscars like trading cards, Costner was just a regular kid chasing big dreams. Born on January 18, 1955, in Linwood, California, and raised in Compton, Kevin Michael Costner came from modest beginnings. His parents, William and Sharon Costner, led hard-working lives. His father was an electrician who later became a utilities executive, and his mother was a welfare worker. Costner was the youngest of 3 boys, though heartbreakingly, his middle brother died at birth. His heritage is a rich blend of German, English, Irish, Scottish, Welsh, and Cherokee ancestry. He was raised in the Baptist faith. Kevin wasn't the academic standout in school, but he was multi-talented. He played sports, especially football, took piano lessons, wrote poetry, and even sang in his church choir at First Baptist. One childhood moment that stuck with him forever was watching the 1962 film How the West Was Won, a cinematic experience that ignited his lifelong love for westerns. As his father climbed the career ladder, the Costner family moved frequently across California. Kevin later admitted that these years chipped away at his confidence. Constantly being the new kid made it tough to form lasting friendships. He lived in Ventura and Visalia before finally settling in Villa Park, where he attended Mount Whitney High School and played in the marching band. He graduated from Villa Park High School in 1973 and went on to earn a BA in Marketing and Finance from California State University, Fullerton, CSUF, in 1978. While at CSUF, he joined the Delta Chi fraternity. By his senior year, however, his interests had shifted toward acting and dancing. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 1978, while returning from his honeymoon in Puerto Vallarta, Costner had a chance encounter with famed actor Richard Burton on a flight. Unsure about whether to pursue acting, Costner worked up the courage to ask Burton for advice. Burton not only encouraged him to go for it, but also gave him hope that an actor could succeed without a life filled with chaos. That brief exchange lit the fire Costner needed. Determined, he took a job as a marketing executive, but lasted only 30 days. With unwavering support from his wife, he began taking acting classes 5 nights a week. To support himself, he worked odd jobs, fishing boats, truck driving, even giving tours of celebrity homes in Hollywood. Every role and gig was a stepping stone that brought him closer to the spotlight. Costner's film debut came in Sizzle Beach, USA, 1981, followed by a minor part as Frat Boy #1 in Ron Howard's Night Shift. In 1983, he landed his first starring role in Stacy's Nights. That same year, he appeared in commercials, including one for the Apple Lisa, and had a small part in the nuclear Holocaust drama Testament. He was also cast in The Big Chill as Alex, the friend whose death brings the characters together, but all his flashback scenes were cut. Still, this wasn't a dead end. Director Lawrence Kasdan, a friend of Costner's, promised to cast him in a future project. That promise came through with Silverado, a Western that became Costner's breakout role. That year, he also starred in cult favorites Fandango and American Flyers, and shared the screen with Kiefer Sutherland in Steven Spielberg's Amazing Stories. Then came 1987, and with it, superstardom. Costner played federal agent Elliot Ness in The Untouchables and led the political thriller No Way Out. Back-to-back hits like Bull Durham and Field of Dreams proved he wasn't just a flash in the pan, he was Hollywood royalty. In 1990, Costner took his career to new heights. He formed TIG Productions with producer Jim Wilson and made his directorial debut with Dances with Wolves, an ambitious Western epic. The film was a massive success, earning 12 Academy Award nominations and winning 7, including Best Picture and Best Director, both for Costner. That same year, he starred in Revenge alongside Anthony Quinn and Madeline Stowe. Though he had initially hoped to direct the film, the project went to Tony Scott. Regardless, Costner's name kept climbing. In 1992, he starred opposite Whitney Houston in The Bodyguard, a romantic drama that exploded at the box office and became a cultural phenomenon. He also served as the film's producer, further proving his versatility behind the scenes. Then, in 2018, Costner returned to his Western roots in a major way. He stepped into the role of John Dutton in Yellowstone, a gritty drama centered around a powerful ranching family defending their land from developers, politicians, and even one another. It was Costner's first regular role in a TV series, and he made it count. The series became a sensation, and Costner's portrayal of Dutton, stoic, ruthless, but deeply human, reminded audiences why he's been at the top for so long. From bouncing between towns as a shy teenager to leading blockbuster films and critically acclaimed TV dramas, Kevin Costner's story is one of perseverance, talent, and perfect timing. His journey wasn't handed to him. It was built, one bold decision at a time. Yellowstone drama. When Kevin Costner was first cast in Yellowstone, fans did not know what to expect. Yellowstone isn't just a TV show, it's a phenomenon. The gritty, high-stakes Western drama airing on Paramount Network has captivated millions with its tale of power, land, and loyalty. At the heart of it all was Kevin Costner, who played John Dutton, the tough-as-nails patriarch of the Dutton dynasty. But now the man who once anchored the series is gone, and the way he left has been nothing short of explosive. The show follows John Dutton, owner of the largest ranch in Montana, the Yellowstone, and his tight-knit yet volatile family. There's his fiercely loyal and fiery daughter Beth, played by Kelly Reilly, his calculating lawyer son Jamie, played by Wes Bentley, and his cowboy son Case, played by Luke Grimes. Add in his cold-blooded enforcer Rip, played by Cole Hauser, and you've got a lineup as ruthless as they come. Together, they face not only constant threats from outsiders trying to seize their land, but also dangerous internal rifts that threaten to tear them apart. Created by Taylor Sheridan and John Linson, Yellowstone debuted on June 20, 2018, as Paramount Network's first scripted show, and it struck gold. Sheridan, known for critically acclaimed films like Sicario and Hell or High Water, penned nearly every episode himself and even took on a recurring role as horse trader Travis Wheatley. The success of Yellowstone sparked a full-blown universe. Prequels 1883, starring Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, and 1923, featuring Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, and upcoming titles like Lawman, Bass Reeves, and 6666. And through it all, Costner was the centerpiece. That is, until he wasn't. In June 2024, after months of swirling rumors, Kevin Costner finally broke his silence. He was done with Yellowstone. In a heartfelt Instagram post, he confirmed he would not return for the second half of Season 5, calling the show a beloved series that he holds dear. But despite the respectful tone, the truth behind his exit told a far messier story. Just days earlier, Costner opened up to people in a cover story revealing the frustration and lack of support he felt behind the scenes. As it turns out, Yellowstone's leading man had been embroiled in off-screen drama that rivaled the intensity of the show itself. Not long after, Taylor Sheridan gave his own take to The Hollywood Reporter. Though diplomatic, Sheridan admitted to being disappointed in Costner's departure, saying it truncates the closure of his character. Translation? John's story had a rushed, unfinished end, and fans felt it. And they didn't have to wait long to find out how it all ended. When Yellowstone Season 5 Part 2 premiered on November 10th, it wasted no time dropping a bombshell. Within minutes of Episode 9, viewers learned that John Dutton was dead, killed by a gunshot wound. The death wasn't just shocking, it was laced with betrayal. It lined up with the sinister plan hatched by Jamie Dutton and his new partner in scheming, corporate ice queen Sarah Atwood, played by Dawn Olivieri. The unthinkable had happened. John had been eliminated by his own blood dot, but while the storyline was dramatic, the real drama was happening behind the scenes. Reports had already begun circulating in early 2023 of major production issues and scheduling conflicts between Costner and the show's team. Costner, who was also working on his personal film project Horizon, eventually aired his side of the story. Speaking to Deadline in May 2024, Costner revealed that he had actually left the set of Horizon to be available for Yellowstone, only to arrive and find that there was no script. Yes, the man prioritized the series, and there wasn't even a plan in place. What you read in the end was that I said, "Well, look, I'm doing my movie. If you want me to work a week because you want to kill me or whatever else, I can give you a week," Costner explained. "I really didn't have that week to give them, but I said I'll do that. And then they spun that into I only wanted to work a week." The media ran with it, painting a picture that Costner was difficult or disengaged. But from his point of view, that couldn't be further from the truth. "I made Yellowstone the first priority, and to insinuate anything else would be wrong," he said. "I did not initiate any of those things. They did. They were doing a tap dance. And this poor guy was also having to write so much." He didn't stop there. In his interview with People, Costner confessed how hurt he was by the silence from the production team when the media began attacking his character. "I was disappointed that nobody on their side ever stepped up to defend what it was I actually did for them," he shared. "There came a moment where I thought, wow, when is somebody going to say something about what I have done versus what I haven't done?" Despite the clear tension, Costner's love for the series still shines through. In his Instagram farewell, he called Yellowstone something that really changed me. He added, "I loved it, and I know you loved it. And I just wanted to let you know that I won't be returning. I love the relationship that we've been able to develop, and I'll see you at the movies." He echoed that sentiment again to People, saying, "I liked the people on the show. I liked what it was about. I love that world." Still, there's no denying the sting. Costner even admitted that he didn't watch the Season 5 Part 2 premiere. In an interview on the Michael Smerconish program, he said he wasn't in a rush to go see it. And who could blame him? After all, he had to hear about John's death from the media. In the premiere, the show picked up where Season 5 Part 1 left off, with John adjusting to his role as Montana's 26th governor while still protecting the ranch. His mission to preserve tradition over modern development put him in direct conflict with powerful enemies, most notably his own son, Jamie. In a cold twist of fate, Jamie and Sarah had tossed around the idea of killing John during an emotional conversation. But by the time Part 2 began, Sarah had made it a reality. While John's death was initially framed as a possible suicide, Beth wasn't buying it and immediately pointed fingers at Jamie and Sarah. Case tried to downplay the theory, but the show flashed back to reveal Sarah's deadly plan was already in motion weeks earlier. So there it is. Kevin Costner's time on Yellowstone ended not with a slow fade-out, but a dramatic explosion, both on screen and off. Fans may be left mourning John Dutton, but the bigger heartbreak might be how a series built on loyalty and legacy failed to show that same respect to its leading man. And although Costner has only had positive things to say about his co-stars, the same cannot be said about a particular co-star who played Costner's son on the series. What did co-stars say about Costner? Kevin Costner's explosive departure from the second half of Yellowstone Season 5 didn't just shake fans. It apparently rattled the cast in more ways than one. While much of the attention has been on the behind-the-scenes clash between Costner and series creator Taylor Sheridan, one of the show's key stars is now offering a rare peek into how things really felt on set without the Oscar winner around. And let's just say the cast did not have anything good to say. Luke Grimes, who plays Case Dutton, the youngest son of John Dutton III, shared candid thoughts in an interview with Esquire. Grimes had plenty of on-screen time with Costner, so he was well-positioned to feel the shift when the patriarch left, and when asked about Costner's absence, he didn't hold back. To be really honest, there was a part of Kevin being gone that meant some of the conflict was gone, Grimes admitted. Obviously, it didn't make it super fun to be around. Not pointing any fingers, but it was actually the easiest season we filmed. That remark alone set off alarm bells among fans. But Grimes didn't stop there. Just a week later, Men's Health asked whether he and Costner had stayed in touch since the actor's abrupt exit. His response was telling. "No, I haven't talked to him since," he said. "It's not a case of any hard feelings or anything, it's just, he's Kevin Costner." He laughed and added, "He's a big deal. I do have his phone number, I just don't feel like it's my place to reach out. He can reach out to me if he wants to." But if Luke was keeping it diplomatic, Costner's reaction when approached by a Daily Mail reporter was anything but. When asked about the Yellowstone finale during an evening out in Aspen, Colorado, Costner laughed it off. "I'm not thinking about that. I don't think I've given it any thought. We'll just let it go." And when pressed about Luke Grimes, he didn't miss a beat. "No, we're done talking," he replied with a chortle before warning the reporter, "Don't slip," effectively shutting the conversation down. So what's really going on here? Is this a subtle Cold War brewing between co-stars? Or just two actors who have long since drifted apart? Only time will tell. But for now, there seems to be no major falling out between the two stars. One other cast who hasn't been scared to air her real feelings about Costner is his on-screen daughter, Kelly Reilly. What has Kelly Reilly said about Costner? The father-daughter dynamic between John and Beth Dutton may have been fictional, but the connection Reilly and Costner developed off-camera was very real. Reilly, now 47, worked closely with Costner for years, and throughout it all, consistently expressed nothing but deep admiration for her co-star. Speaking to Gold Derby, she reflected on their time working together, noting that they had grown incredibly close over their 5 years on the show. She described how, although Beth was now married in the series, the most important emotional relationship in her character's life remained the one with her father. That weight, she explained, came from a long and tangled history, and Costner helped bring every ounce of it to life. Born and raised in Chessington to a hospital receptionist and a police officer, Reilly's own path to Hollywood was forged through raw grit. She attended Tolworth Girls' School and studied drama to earn her GCSE. With Irish roots through her grandparents, she was unafraid to chase ambition early on. She famously wrote to the producers of Prime Suspect asking for work, and 6 months later, landed an audition that kick-started her career. From her earliest roles in Bramwell and Pie in the Sky to owning the British stage under playwright Terry Johnson, Reilly's evolution as an actress was slow-burning and deliberate. Johnson even tailored his play Pianoforte specifically for her, praising her as the most naturally gifted actor he had ever worked with. And when Carol Rise directed her in the Yalta Game, she described the experience as a masterclass that shaped her ability to tackle heavy roles like Miss Julie later in her career. Her breakthrough on U.S. television came with Yellowstone, where she was cast in the series' leading female role, Beth Dutton, going toe-to-toe with Kevin Costner's John. From the moment the series premiered on June 20, 2018, fans were captivated not only by the epic Western drama, but also by the deeply layered relationship between Beth and her father. It was fiery, it was fragile, and it was unforgettable. Reilly, too, found something remarkable in Costner. She once told Looper that Costner was one of the nicest and most generous actors she had ever worked with. The two shared what she called a fun and easygoing rapport, and she revealed that she genuinely admired his stillness on set, how he carried scenes with quiet gravity. Even though he didn't give her direct advice, she felt she was always learning just by watching him work. She also told Entertainment Weekly that John's exit in Season 5B changed nothing about Beth's unrelenting desire to protect the Dutton family legacy. If anything, it made it more urgent. But despite this character-driven determination, the reality is the show will never be the same. Reilly has had to remain composed about Costner's controversial exit, especially as media reports swirled with conflicting stories. She's chose to stay mostly silent on what actually went down, and unlike others in the cast, she hasn't commented on the chaos that allegedly unfolded behind the scenes. But through the haze of Hollywood politics, Her past words speak volumes. She once reflected on how they took care of each other during difficult scenes, describing their on-screen partnership as being on the same team. In a joint interview, Costner even teased her by calling her unmanageable, which had her laughing, a moment that spoke to their genuine affection. But with Kevin officially confirming he wouldn't be returning, the curtain has finally closed on that chapter. In a video message released back in June last year, Costner explained that after devoting over a year and a half to filming Horizon and carefully considering Yellowstone, he ultimately realized he couldn't return for Season 5B or anything beyond it. He described the show as something that had deeply changed him, something he truly loved. And though he couldn't continue, he expressed gratitude for the relationship the series built between him and the audience, ending his message with a promise to see fans at the movies. Meanwhile, Reilly's career continues to thrive. Long before Yellowstone, she held powerful roles in Eden Lake, Above Suspicion, and blockbuster films like Sherlock Holmes and Triage. She proved she could hold her own in everything from historical dramas to modern thrillers. And in 2017, she even led the charge in Britannia as the fierce Queen Cara during Rome's invasion of Britain. But no role quite solidified her global status like Beth Dutton. And no on-screen bond quite resonated like the one she built with Costner. While John Dutton may be gone, the emotional fingerprints of Kevin Costner's performance and the friendship he shared with Kelly Reilly are stamped into the heart of the series forever. Though Costner's drama with Yellowstone has been over for a while, there is a new drama brewing on the set of his new Western series. The Many Troubles of Kevin Costner's Life. Kevin Costner is back in the headlines, and this time it's not because of his latest Western epic or a heart-tugging Oscar speech. Instead, the 70-year-old actor-director finds himself at the center of a disturbing lawsuit filed by a stunt performer who claims she was forced to participate in a violent, unscripted rape scene while filming Horizon: An American Saga. Chapter 2. And while Costner's lawyer has denied the allegations, this is far from the first time the Hollywood heavyweight has found himself tangled in controversy. The complaint, filed in California and obtained by Business Insider, accuses Costner and the production team behind Horizon 2 of breaching contract and enabling harassment. Devin Labella, who had served as the stunt double for actor Ella Hunt, claimed that she was coerced into shooting an unexpected and graphic assault scene with no prior notice, no required consent procedures, and perhaps most damningly, no intimacy coordinator present. She also stated that the scene was filmed on an open set, leaving her vulnerable to onlookers and deeply exposed. In an interview with The Hollywood Reporter, Labella described feeling unprotected and deeply betrayed by a system that promised safety and professionalism. The stunt performer, whose resume includes high-profile projects like Barbie and Yellow Jackets, is now suing for an undisclosed amount and has requested a trial by jury. Costner's legal team, however, quickly pushed back. In a statement to Business Insider, attorney Marty Singer asserted that Costner always prioritized safety on set and emphasized that the claims were entirely without merit. But this lawsuit isn't an isolated black mark on an otherwise clean legacy. Costner's career, while filled with highs, has also been punctuated by a number of public missteps, box office bombs, and headline-grabbing legal battles that span decades. In fact, scandal seemed to follow Costner even at the height of his fame. In 1995, his career took a sharp dive with the catastrophic release of Waterworld, a post-apocalyptic action film he not only starred in but also produced and eventually directed. The film's budget spiraled out of control, swelling to a then astronomical $175 million due to natural disasters, on-set injuries, including one to Costner himself, and countless production delays. The film flopped critically and commercially, with many branding it one of the worst movies ever made. Costner, who personally invested $22 million into the project, didn't just lose money, he lost momentum. 2 years later, he tried to rebound with The Postman, only to receive a handful of Golden Raspberry Awards, including Worst Actor and Worst Director. Even Dances with Wolves, the 1990 film that made him an Oscar darling and endeared him to fans of Western cinema, came with its own backlash. Though the film was initially praised for its respectful depiction of Native American culture, Costner later drew the ire of the Lakota Sioux Nation. 5 years after the movie's release, the New York Times reported that many in the tribe felt betrayed after Costner proposed a plan to build a casino, golf course, and resort on land in Deadwood, South Dakota, an area they considered sacred. Costner and his brother offered to swap a nearby 600-acre parcel of land, but the tribe resisted. While the resort project never materialized, legal fallout continued. In 2013, the Costner brothers put the 1,000 acres of land up for sale at $14 million. To this day, Costner remains locked in a legal dispute with an artist he commissioned to create a bronze sculpture for the failed resort. Then came the oil spill lawsuit. In 2012, actor Stephen Baldwin took Costner to federal court, claiming the Yellowstone star cheated him out of millions following the Deepwater Horizon oil spill in 2010. Baldwin, along with his business partner, accused Costner of concealing a deal with BP before they sold their shares in a company developing oil-water separation technology. They demanded $17 million in damages. But after a 2-week trial, the jury sided with Costner, and Baldwin walked away with nothing. Costner's personal life has also been under the microscope. In 2023, his highly publicized divorce from second wife Christine Baumgartner became tabloid gold. After 18 years of marriage, Baumgartner filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences. What followed was a messy court battle that touched on everything from multi-million-dollar child support disputes to arguments over kitchen utensils and a Peloton bike. Public interest only grew as both legal teams launched accusations. Baumgartner's side questioned Costner's fidelity, while Costner's team suggested she padded her financial demands to cover over $188,000 in plastic surgery. Just as the couple seemed headed for a scorched earth trial, they reached a confidential settlement in September 2023. With Horizon's production under legal fire and a lawsuit that alleges some of the most serious claims ever leveled against the Oscar winner, Costner's Hollywood return isn't quite the triumphant comeback he may have envisioned. Whether the courts side with him or not, the accusations have already sparked a fierce conversation about safety, power, and consent in the film industry, and place Costner right back in the center of a storm. What do you think about the recent lawsuit against Costner? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you enjoyed this, and don't forget to subscribe. Tap the next video shown on your screen. You'll enjoy it.